Why is Sri Lanka not a part of India? Have you ever wondered why Sri Lanka, an island so close to India, isn't part of the Indian mainland? Despite its shared history and cultural ties, Sri Lanka has always remained independent. This video will explore the key historical, geographical, and political reasons that have kept Sri Lanka distinct from India. From ancient kingdoms to colonial rule and the island's unique geography, Sri Lanka's path has been carved differently from India's. Although the two countries have strong connections, their distinct geography, religion, and historical events influence their separation. So if you're curious about why Sri Lanka isn't part of India, keep watching as we uncover the fascinating answer. Geography: Sri Lanka's natural barrier. Let's begin with geography. One of the main reasons Sri Lanka has always remained independent of India. Although Sri Lanka is just 30 kilometers from India's southern tip, the Palk Strait, a narrow body of water, acts as a natural barrier between the two. This separation by sea has allowed Sri Lanka to develop its own traditions and systems of governance, while maintaining a close but independent relationship with India. While there was frequent interaction through trade and migration between the two regions, the sea made it harder for India's empires to fully control Sri Lanka. This geographical distance helped preserve Sri Lanka's independence, despite its proximity and shared cultural elements with India. Colonial history: separate paths to independence. Colonial rule was another major factor that defined the separate identities of India and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, which was called Ceylon during colonial times, was controlled by several European powers. The Portuguese in the 16th century, the Dutch, and finally the British in the early 19th century. The British colonized India too, but the two territories were always governed separately. As the British began withdrawing from their empire after World War II, India gained independence in 1947, while Sri Lanka followed a year later in 1948. However, because they had always been administered separately during British rule, Sri Lanka had already developed its own political identity. There was no significant movement or push to unite the two nations after independence. Both countries chose to focus on their own national futures, and Sri Lanka maintained its sovereignty, shaped by its distinct colonial history. Cultural and religious differences. Although India and Sri Lanka share cultural similarities, they've developed their own religious and cultural identities over time. India, with its vast diversity of Hinduism, Islam, Sikhism, and other religions, is a melting pot of faiths. On the other hand, Sri Lanka embraced Buddhism as its dominant religion after arriving from India in the 3rd century BCE. Buddhism quickly became a central part of Sri Lankan life, influencing everything from politics to daily customs. This religious distinction sets Sri Lanka apart from India. While both countries have significant Hindu and Buddhist populations, Buddhism became the core of Sri Lanka's identity. This cultural difference was key in keeping Sri Lanka separate from India, despite their many shared traditions, such as language. In addition, Sri Lanka's population includes the Tamil community, which has roots in India. However, even the Tamil and Sinhalese communities in Sri Lanka have developed their own national identities, further solidifying Sri Lanka as an independent nation. Today, Sri Lanka stands proudly as an independent nation, with a rich culture distinct from its larger neighbor, India. If you found this journey through Sri Lanka's history fascinating, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the captivating stories of world history and culture. Stay tuned for our next video, where we explore even more intriguing topics from around the globe. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.